What's up, DIY Nation, and welcome back to YouFloor. We are out on a job in Gallatin, Tennessee. This actually happens to be a rental property, and it's one of ours. There are 3 duplexes in this series right here, which means there are 6 units. Now, we've already worked on 2.5 of one of those, but we had to jump over to this one because somebody moved out. There was a lot of work that needed to be done, and we need to get this thing ready for the next tenants to move in. Me and Kelly have been working on this thing almost non-stop for about 2.5 to 3 months. And we've gotten to the stairs. These stairs, I would have to say, are probably the worst set of steps I've ever seen in my life. And it's a pretty sad situation. So those of you floor guys out there who do stairs, or if you just specialize in steps, take a look at these and give me some of your thoughts in the comments, what you're thinking. I'm gonna start right here at the beginning and explain to you some of the issues that I have ran into and how I've decided to fix them. First of all, this step right here, when you go from this landing to this one, that thing was like 10 1/4 inches. Now, I don't know if you know or not, but you're really not supposed to go above 7 3/4 and 8 inches if you're pushing it, and hopefully it's grandfathered in. Now see, this landing actually needs to be a little bit bigger. This one needs to be bigger so that this one can be bigger, so that these can come down the way they need to come up. But for now, the problem is this is at the width that it needs to be for like handicap accessibility and being able to get furniture up and down the stairs. So we really can't close that in anymore. And then going this way, as you can see, we really need to push the steps a little bit further that way, but we can, because once we get to the top of the steps, we're at our minimum for the distance between here and that wall right there. We can't go any shallower than that. I didn't build these, you know what I'm saying? But they look like they didn't have any choice but to make these like with 9-inch runs instead of 10. And I guess it passed the codes back in the day, but this would not fly today if this was new construction. And they've kind of left me in a predicament to where I learned how to build stuff in codes. And so how do you make this work if it's not in codes? So let me explain to you something that I actually did do to try to help with the height of these stairs. This step down here was around 7 inches, so I had plenty of room to play with that right there. I went ahead and put 1/4 inch plywood on there to bring it up to about 7 1/4. And then I'm going to put 3/4 inch flooring on top of that. I may even just put LVP on there, I haven't decided, but anyway, I've raised it up some, and that's okay. Because over here, I put 2 pieces of 1/2 inch on here, raising this thing up almost a whole inch, which took away from that over there, making that a little bit less than 10 inches. So I'm also going to add floor on top of this, which is going to be 3/4. So when it's all said and done, this bottom step right here is going to end up being right around 8 1/2 inches tall. This one right here is going to be 8 1/2 inches tall, and that one will be 8 3/4 inches tall. I did all the math in my head with all the flooring that I have, but we'll take a look. That may change as things go, but for now, that's the plan that I'm going to do for that. Now, the sides, the walls, those are atrocious. And this wall right here is actually just a 2x4 wall with the studs turned sideways. It's not structural, but what they have done is they've built it underneath this beam right here, and they set the studs on top of the treads. That's right, on top. How do I know that? Because look, it goes way back in there underneath the wall. You can see the bottom of that stud right there. It's poking out. Trying to play peekaboo, but I see it in there. So you can see they just set them on top of there. So my initial thought was, hey, I'll just cut these things out. Why? Well, these are copping a lean a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell a little bit, but they're leaning down a little bit like that. Okay, now I've looked underneath it, and structurally it's going to be fine. I actually drove a couple screws to this stringer under here, and I was thinking about building a half wall underneath there just for a little bit more support. But they're not going anywhere. There's 3 stringers that's attached good up at the top of that. Now, like I say, these studs are sitting on top of these treads right here, so I can't just come in and cut them and lift them up because the actual stringer is in there. In the wall, it's underneath the wall. So, this is a mess. This is a mess. This is a mess. Now, in other videos you guys see where I did the trim, baseboard trim, where you just stair step it up there, I would have to use huge baseboard, and I just don't think it's going to look good. So I thought on this, and I thought, with this being a rental and me trying to get this thing ready by the 1st of the month, and with me trying to make it not look like I hacked something all together, I decided to come up with my own idea. I made my own skirt boards, and I made my own baseboard. Now I'm only going to do this in the hallway so that way it matches. But let me take you upstairs and show you what I got. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. These are made out of MDF. And let me explain to you where I got this real quick. It's a really cool story. This guy that I buy flooring from, all the flooring that he gets comes in on pallets, and in order to strap them up, they put these big pieces of MDF 1/2 inch, and they're like at about 3.5 foot by 5 foot long, kind of like a piece of hardy board that you'll put down in tile. They're about that big. And so, well, you can see this is a full length board right here. Boom, so it's around 5 foot. But yeah, it's a little bit over 3 foot wide. Anyway, he gives me these for free because he's just gonna throw them in a dumpster anyway. I've already made risers out of these things. These things are perfect for risers because you can see they're about 1/2 inch thick. They paint really nice. They take paint really well. And it's just about like wooden clay. You can mold it to anything you want. And as you can see, if you come over here and take a look, I've routed the edges off. So that's why I made my own custom baseboard. Now, I would have liked to seen that profile right there be a little bit more pronounced, but it wouldn't have given me very much at the top up there. Does that make sense? So I decided to just give it a little bit of a profile, and I made those with this right here. This is a little router that I ordered off of Amazon. I'll leave a link for this thing. It's corded. You know, I wanted to get a battery powered one for my Dewalt, but you know what? This thing was handheld. It's small. It did the work, and man, I'm not mad at it at all. I'm pretty pleased with the results. This is the box that I ordered. As you can see, it came with a couple extra bits in there, but let's see. The second one is the one I used for this right here. So that's that. I call it the scroll bit. Anyway, that's it right there, guys. I ended up. The way I did this was I went and took some of that MDF and I ripped it up into 9-inch pieces, and the way I got that number was I just came over here with my level and set it on these stairs like this right here so that it touched the nose of every one of the steps. Does that make sense? And that way I would be able to draw on the top of my level this line right here, and that's what I went with. I think it was somewhere around 40 degrees. But anyway, I started at the bottom and I took this and I slid it behind. Once I got it in here and I got it on the line, like I said, I did it all the way down. I came in with my pencil and just came up and traced this kind of lightly. I didn't do it dark because I know I have nails and bumps and everything like that. And I'm coming in with a frame and square later on to make it more perfect. But once I got those traced out, I was able to come in and cut these triangles out. Then I moved it over to this side. Now once we get over to this side, you can see it'll sit down perfectly all the way down to this little situation I got going right here. And then we'll glue it and nail it. Now you can see I cut this little profile on it right here. And I cut the same profile on my baseboard that I made upstairs. That way it's easy to tie in, and I'm also going to do the same thing down here. If you'll take a look down here, I've actually got the baseboard cut for this right here, and I've already got my 45 angle cut in like this. And the one that I made for this side over here, I've already tied it in perfectly, and it's going to look great when it's all caulked and painted up. So that's the plan, is to get these skirt boards ran today and to try to get this baseboard installed. But the first thing we got to do is get the top of it sanded down and get it painted. And so you guys hang tight. We'll come back with you and check in with some progress. All right, let's go. Alright you guys, so I got all of the skirt board, all the baseboard painted, and I actually put 2 or 3 coats on it just to make it real thick, and it's took a little bit to dry. So I actually been working on other things while I've been waiting on it to dry, but I think we're good to go. We're getting towards the end of the day. Wanted to try to get at least one of these in before I left here today, and then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll wrap the rest of it up so you guys can see. But anyway, let's go take a look at them. Whoa, check that out. I guess Kelly thought that was where she needed to put her speaker.
Did it make a mark?
No, it didn't make a mark, but I just can't believe the audacity. Anyway, here we go. There you go, guys. So let's go ahead and grab number 1, and we will go ahead and try to get it glued and nailed up. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the one that doesn't require me to set it down on the steps. Not for any reason, but just that's the side that I'm tying the baseboard in, right down there, and I like to see how that looks. All right, let's go get this thing set up down at the bottom and get rocking and rolling. I actually brought some liquid nails to glue it to the wall just because, like I said, I'm not really sure where some of these studs are in here. I think they're set on every 4 foot on center. You know, if that isn't even a thing, that doesn't make sense. But anyway, like I say, a lot of weird stuff going on here, like this wall here. Anyway, here we go. I'm just putting the glue towards the bottom because I know that as I push it down, it's gonna slide up. And then also I'll be caulking the top, so should be good on that. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this only because there's like, I guess it's on 2-foot center. There's one there and there's one there. And I always nail the bottom plate, but this will help out with the top. I'm gonna put this up. Go ahead and try to nail that in, because that is where it is, and that's all that it is. There. I'll just put those 2 nails down there for right now. That way, if I need to shove it back and forth, I can. But I think it's good to go. All right, this is gonna be tricky because I don't want to get liquid nail all over the place. I'm gonna kind of lean it out until we get it down there. All right, I think we're gonna be good. Yeah, looks good, huh? All right, I'm going with it. I have a stud here. And I'll also have one way up there. So, I'll do this scissor. Well, you guys, it's been a super long day. I know you didn't get to see everything I did, but hey, I didn't want to bore you guys to death. But my battery on my microphone has died, so I'm going to go ahead and rock this skirt board out right here, and I'll catch back up with you guys tomorrow. Alright you guys, welcome back. It is day 2, well actually it's probably like day 13 for us, but as far as these stairs go and you guys coming along with me, we are on day 2. Now last night it got a little bit late on us, so I wanted to at least get one of these skirt boards in and tie it into my baseboard, just for the satisfaction of seeing it done and seeing what it looks like. So this is what we got done last night. So we got that baseboard in, we got it tied in, and I gotta do a little bit of a puttying over there. Looks like it's moved a little bit. Anyway, we'll get it tightened up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one on the other side, and then go ahead and get this one. We talked about how I got that cut, so I'm gonna show you that. That's gonna save me from having to do all of this drywall work and all this blocking stuff in here just to get this thing wrapped up. And then I'm going to actually put some stair nose on the front of these things and wrap them in carpet, but as you can see there's a gap down there, so I'll probably have to end up putting something down there just so I have something to attach tack strip to. Alright guys, that is the plan for today. I'm gonna go ahead and get started and bring you guys along with me. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Here we go. Well fam, I hope you're enjoying the video as much as I'm enjoying doing these steps. But hey, it took a lot of thinking to get these things done, so there was no way I was going to be able to wrap it up in one video. We still have the risers to do, and I think I come up with something for that landing as far as the flooring goes. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and join the DIY team. And also, I really love you guys' opinion. Do you want to see one more long 30-minute video, or would you rather see 2 more 15-minute videos? Let me know in the comments. There you go, that's the back bedroom.
Alright. Do you need that light for your videos, E?
Not anymore.